Well, hello everybody. Well, it's week 4 of our February online program, and this week on our movie theme, we're going to talk about Barfly, which is a wonderful movie with Mickey Rourke and Faye Dunaway and a few other people. And it again is based on a famous piece of writing by a guy by the name of Charles Bukowski. And Bukowski is a fascinating character. He's sort of become a sort of a cult hero. And he was, oh man, was he a card-carrying drug addict. Anyway, this movie, Barfly, is, the main setting is a bar. Go figure. And Mickey Rourke is in there, and this is basically his home. And what he does is he gets drunk, and he's constantly getting into a fight with the bartender. And you can, the poor old bartender, oh God, I gotta serve this idiot. And now he's giving me lip. Well, screw that. So there, he's, Mickey Rourke and the bartender are always getting into fights. Anyway, Mickey Rourke is a bit of a poet, just like Charles Bukowski. In fact, the movie and the book are basically an autobiography. So he's a bit of a poet, he writes some poetry, but he's still getting drunk and getting in fights every day, the usual. Anyway, this woman, typical middle-class, healthy-minded, respectable woman, realizes Barfly's talent, that he can write poetry. So she actually convinces him to clean up, and then she dresses him up in new clothes, takes him to meet all the literati, all these people who like to dress up in suits and drink wine at parties and talk about literature. And here's this incredibly competent, talented poet showing up to these parties, and she's showing him off, and so he's into this world. So he's got, things are happening for him. He's starting to make some money. He's dressing nice, well-fed, hanging out with some very respectable people. And it dawns on him that, this is lousy. I hate this. And the problem is he's not in control of his life. And he realizes this. So he basically says, oh, forget this. I'm going back to the bar and going back to drinking and getting in fights. So it's exactly what he did. And this is a really interesting thing, because one of the things Bukowski is telling us is that if we are to find any sense of happiness or contentment in life, we must feel that we are in charge of our life. And you all know one of my big sayings is, which you're probably sick of me saying it to you, that you are the author of your life, right? And we know this from psychology, that if you don't feel that you are in control, that you are not leading the life that you want to lead, you're going to run into trouble. Just like we see so many of our clients who say, yes, I want to be in charge of my life, but as soon as a bit of stress comes on them, they go run back to, mom and dad or their families or something to bail them out again. And then get all choked that, all of a sudden they go back home, and then mom and dad may put all these restrictions on them. Well, you got to go to 3 meetings a week, and you have to be back before 10 o'clock at night, and they get really choked about that. And yet they've actually done the action of running back home. Yeah, so it's an interesting phenomenon. But this idea of being in charge of your life, and in fact, I know drug addicts who are like this. They have no interest in quitting. They're quite content using drugs, and at least the ones I've met. And they have, the idea of going to the Sunshine Coast Health Center for treatment, it's like, I think that's the dumbest idea they ever had. No, they've made up their mind, and they're just going to use drugs, and at some point, they know the drugs are going to kill them, and that's fine. They've made that choice. And that's an important choice to make. Just as some of you have probably heard me say, like, if you want to go out and get loaded, that's your choice. It's not up to me to tell you how to live your life. That's your choice. I can't do that. I mean, if I did that, you'd never be happy. All I can do is tell you about the science, tell you about the psychology, the research, and let you make the decision based on what you want out of life. Right? Because it's ultimately up to you to figure out the kind of life you want. And so this idea is highlighted very powerfully in Barfly, that maybe this is part of what it means to be happy, is to be in charge of life, regardless of what that looks like, regardless of what society may view that as. And as long as, of course, you're not going out and murdering everybody every Sunday and, burning down the neighbor's house because you don't like them, that kind of stuff, right? That perhaps it is fundamental for you to make this decision. Yeah, your mom and dad want you to become a doctor, but you don't want to. Like, if you become a doctor, you're not going to be very happy. If you want to, or my comment I make to lots of clients, right? If your dream, if what's going to make you feel truly happy is to grow your hair long, wear sandals and make pottery, then do it. Because otherwise, you're probably not going to be very happy. Right? Take charge of your life. And for those of you who are interested in psychology, you can read up all about this, even on the internet. It's called self-determination theory. It's one of the new ideas in psychology. But anyway, that's our February program, and we'll come up with a new topic for next month. But as always, read up on the online program on the website, answer the questions if you want, and send it back to us. Anyway, talk to you later.